My name is Guja, and I'm originally from Sarajevo, Bosnia. But for the last 16 years, I've lived in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And now I live here in Croatia, in Dubrovnik. It was my first week in Dubrovnik. I was by myself, I knew nobody. And I was walking through the streets trying to find something to eat, and I smelled cevapi, which is the Bosnian meal that everybody loves so much. And I was like, there's no way. In Dubrovnik, I can't believe it.
My name is Zedina, Matanović, and right now I'm a mother. I don't do anything but that. And usually I run this restaurant with my husband and cook here. My husband is Bosnian and my father is Macedonian, but he also lived in Bosnia. So I have that connection, and we both love Bosnia and Bosnian food. So that's where his idea come from. And also we wanted to give this city something that doesn't exist here, because everything's the same, everything's the fish and pizzas and the stuff. We wanted something else, and that's how we started. At first they didn't like it. Well, because they all, in the start, they thought that what's that? It's some Muslim thing, and it bothers them. But usually they start to like it. They try the food, and I don't know. Now everything's fine.
It's really, really hard to actually put like one concrete thing and say I am Serbian, I'm Croatian, I'm Bosnian. I found out there was an American college here, and I got some information, and 1 year after that I was here. And I've been here for 3 years now, and I don't plan on going back to America.
Čemu ova priča? Ova gože, ja ću Heineken. Ja ću Stella Beck, Stella Beck. Kao, koja ćeš, Stella ili Beck?
My name is Andrija Prostran, and right now I'm finishing my studies at American College of Management and Technology here in Dubrovnik. And in the free time I work here. This is a wine bar, Dewan. I was born and raised and lived the biggest part of my life in Zadar, which is a small coastal town in Dalmatia, basically North Dalmatia. And for the past 8 years or so, I've been living in Dubrovnik. Basically, my grandfather had quite a large production in Croatia, north of Zadar. And basically, as the economy of the ex-country and everything was more centered towards this agriculture, and more people lived on the countryside, basically every family produced a certain quantity of wine for themselves, from friends. Not all of that was offered for sale or given into distribution. But yeah, my family has roots in wine production. However, I never, before I start working here, never thought that anything could ever happen again. As a kid, I was completely unaware of the concept of nationality, because in the old country we were all Yugoslavians. So basically, even into the war, I still didn't know what a Serb or what a Croat means. My father is a Serb, born and raised in Croatia, and all of our ancestors as well. So, but during some time in history, they were baptized as Orthodox Serbs, not as Catholic Croatians. And my mom is, she comes from a small place called Vodice in vicinity of Šibenik, and she's from Catholic family. However, on both sides, religion was never too much of an issue because most of those people, most of my grandfathers and grandmothers, they were communists during the World War II, and they participated in the resistance against the Nazis or fascists. So basically the religion was never too much of importance. I really didn't know what it meant. Well, when the war started, it kind of became an issue because being half Serb and living in Croatia at the time that was in the war with Serbia, it made a lot of problems to basically, I wouldn't say survive, but it did create a lot of fear and stress and things like that.
My father is Muslim and my mother is Catholic. So as a child I went to a church. I also went to the Jamia. Edo and I always from time to time want to go somewhere else to live because Dubrovnik is a beautiful city, but people here are not so friendly to the people who came to live here from someone else, like, for example, him from Bosnia and my father from Macedonia and stuff. So I think we'll never get used to that kind of living here.
When the war started in 1991, I was 7 at that time, and we spent 1 year during the war, and there was 2 convoys to take women and children outside of the city, and we actually got on the last one, and me and my mom and my aunt and my cousin left and went to Split. From there, my father escaped and he went to Belgrade, which is in Serbia, and we made our trip around quite a numerous amounts of countries to get there. We lived there for 1 year, and after that we moved to the United States when the UN sponsored us to go there because I'm a part of a mixed family, so mixed marriage.
The hatred that you get from all other kids in school and on the street, basically everywhere, is just something that you cannot comprehend at that age. And what was the worst thing, at that time there were not too many Serbian families left in Zadar. Everybody who had opportunity fled, and my father decided to stay, which was today probably the best and the worst decision of his life. Because what it made for me is that after the war and after all the trauma that I've been through, today only one thing I can say for sure is that I keep my Serbian roots and my Croatian roots really seriously, and I have every right to call myself Serbian and Croatian, depending what is best for me at the time, and nobody can take away that from me. But when you're basically at this age forced to in some way fight for that, it creates trauma for the rest of your life. And that's why I avoid the subject whenever I can, because the war is a time where human beings stop being human, and basically you either go to a higher level, becoming a better person, or you turn to animal, like many people did. And it leaves scars on both sides, so that's about it.
pozivam u ime naše koalicijske liste.
What happens in Croatia now is maybe due to a crisis, maybe due to sheer despair, people turn back to nationalism, and you still have a lot of that going on. Many people still use this nationalism and fuel the national hatred, which is for me something that cannot happen in a civilized community, in a civilized country. And it's going to take a long to cure it, basically, to treat it, because it's a sickness of a society. When you see these young kids that didn't go through a war, then you know they had to get it from somewhere, whether they got it from their folks at home or in school or anywhere through their peer socialization, is just something that is very dangerous, and if we don't do something about that, it's just gonna grow, and that's stupid. It's holding us back.
Here, before the war, everything was everything just like a fairy tale. It was really a great country, Yugoslavia. I don't know, it's been over 10 years from that, and I think it's a little bit starting to get normal, but it will never be the same.
My dad's soul was always in Bosnia, but his body was in America, and my mom's as well, to a certain extent. They've lived there for such a long time that they formed a life there, but with the economical standing of the country as is, and the ages that they are in now, I mean, my mom's 50 and my dad's almost 65, it becomes very tough for them to stay there, because I've decided to stay here, and I'm an only child, so the closer they are to home, the better. And I think that their decision to come here is definitely a great one, because they'll be finally at peace.
Dubrovnik has this weird thing about itself that I cannot really explain. It's not empirical, it cannot be proven, but basically it's a kind of love and hate relationship. Although you sometimes want to scream and get out, it kind of gets under your skin after some time, and I cannot even think about leaving the city permanently and never coming back. It's just the magic that the city has.